Episode 621. A Fake Fight. Marjorie rolled over so her back was toward Brian. Her panic had rendered her speechless. It's been so many years. Surely, Eric won't be able to find out the truth now. I need to stop scaring myself, she thought, trying to calm down. But no matter how hard she tried to comfort herself, she spent the entire night awake with anxiety. She had a sense that she would be exposed soon. It was like the future was already haunting her. Early the next morning, Richard went to Bridget's home. Instead of sleeping late, as he had expected, she was exercising in the garden. Her mother brought Richard a cup of coffee and apologized for the previous day. He smiled and waved off her concerns. "It's fine." Eliza hesitantly played with her own mug before asking, "Why do you want Bridget to work with you so badly?" "She's interesting. She's different. She lives freely, worrying about social norms," he answered. She laughed and nodded. They sat in silence for a while, watching Bridget out the window. Eventually, she spoke again. "You seem to be very close with Emma Miller. I saw her last night. She's stunning. And her husband," she said, trying to sound casual. "Is there something you're trying to say?" he asked, giving her a curious look. "Please, take good care of Bridget for me," she said. "She's strong, but I couldn't stand to see anything happen to her." He raised his eyebrows. "Won't you be here to look out for her?" he asked. She didn't respond. The previous night's event had made her realize that there were some things she needed to face. He looked at her unfocused gaze and realized she must have a hidden story of her own. He had no idea how much they had in common. Soon after, Bridget finished exercising and approached them. "What did my mom say to you?" she asked him curiously. "I guess you should ask her about that," he responded. "I have keys to your new home," he said. "Since you're officially on the payroll, I arranged an apartment for you." She looked at him suspiciously. "Are you trying to train me to be something else? I signed on as a stunt double, so don't expect me to do anything else," she said. "I won't," he said. "That's it." The same morning, Marjorie's anxiety had overtaken any rational thought she might have had. Forgetting the commotion that she had stirred up over her relationship with Emma, she went to her son's home under the guise of bringing soup for Emma. Although the soup wasn't enough to repair their relationship, Emma was willing to talk to her mother-in-law. She invited her in, but remained wary. Somehow, she thought, I don't believe that Marjorie is here just to bring me something to eat. When they entered the living room, Marjorie spotted the scripts on the coffee table. "Are you preparing for another role?" she asked. There's no need to beat around the bush. Is there something you want to say to me? Emma asked. Marjorie craned her neck to look around the house. Is Eric at work? She asked. Emma nodded. Yes, he has a meeting to discuss a film collaboration. Emma carefully watched Marjorie's face, curious as to what her end game was. Marjorie didn't say anything at first. She went into the kitchen to grab a bowl and a spoon. But Emma just looked at her blankly when she tried to give them to her. What? Are you worried I poisoned the soup? Marjorie asked. But her anxiety made her tone too serious for it to sound like a joke. I just finished breakfast. I'm not hungry, but I'm sure I will enjoy it later, Emma replied. Okay, Marjorie said. She put the soup away and rinsed off the dishes, putting off talking about the real reason she had decided to visit. When she rejoined Emma on the living room couch, they sat in awkward silence while Marjorie figured out how to ask her question. Has Eric talked about me recently? If he has any questions, he can come to me directly. He doesn't need to investigate in secret, Marjorie blurted out. Investigate in secret? Emma asked. What are you talking about? Marjorie froze. He hasn't mentioned my name change? She asked. Oh, that. Once I asked John why you had a different last name, but he never answered. He said I needed to ask his father about it, Emma replied. Marjorie let out a sigh of relief. So, he's asking about my name because Emma was curious, she thought. Don't worry about me. Just focus on yourself, Marjorie told Emma. Her temporary relief over finding out that Emma had been the one asking questions was quickly replaced with worry over the disaster that could still unfold. Okay, Emma said. Is there something else you wanted to talk about? Marjorie frowned. Emma's reaction made her feel like she had already discovered something. I need to get rid of her to prevent the truth from coming out, Marjorie realized. She glanced at Emma's baby bump hesitantly before reminding herself, it's not really my grandchild anyway. Now that her panic had subsided, Marjorie went on the offensive. Don't ask Eric about me anymore, she snapped, her mood changing rapidly. She stood up and strode out of the house without waiting for a response. But once she was outside, she realized her attitude change would make Emma more curious. Now what am I going to do? She thought. Just outside her own front door, she grabbed a sharp rock and drew the edge against her arm. By the time she walked through the door, she was tearing up and clutching her bleeding arm. What happened? Brian asked as he rushed over. I guess Emma was still angry. Can you believe how she reacted? She pushed me so hard after I offered her soup. that I stumbled and cut my arm on a knife," Marjorie replied. "She's a terrible person. I don't want her anywhere near our son. And do you know that she was engaged before meeting Eric? She only married him to get revenge on her ex-boyfriend." He began fumbling as he held a towel to the cut. "I don't know what to do," she said, trying to prompt him into action. "She won't get away with this," he promised as he stormed out the door. Episode 622. A Fake Affair. By the time Brian arrived at Eric and Emma's house, she was no longer home alone. Richard had stopped by to deliver the final part of the realm to her. Brian assumed the worst when he saw them talking together. "This is what you do while you're pregnant? Sleep around while Eric is at work?" he asked angrily. Emma looked at him in confusion, defensively resting her hands on her belly. Richard tried to diffuse the tension and held up the script. "I think there's been a misunderstanding. We just work together," he explained with a smile. Brian suppressed his embarrassment, determined to continue his rampage. "Well, what did you do to Marjorie when she stopped by earlier?" he asked. Emma became more confused. "I don't understand what you're talking about," she replied. "You don't understand?" he yelled as he lunged forward with his hand raised. Richard stepped in between them. "What do you think you're doing?" Richard snapped. Brian pointed an accusatory finger at Emma. "Do you think I'm dumb enough to fall for your innocent act? Eric might be taken in by you, but I'm not." Richard stared blankly at Brian. "What are you talking about?" he asked. "She attacked my poor wife. She came home covered in blood," Brian answered. When neither Emma nor Richard responded, Brian threw up his hands in frustration. "I'm taking her to the doctor now, but this isn't over," he said before storming away. Richard and Emma stared at each other in dumbfounded silence for a while. "Well, did you attack Marjorie?" he asked. "Somehow, I'm having trouble imagining you as the violent type." She sighed, pinching the bridge of her nose in frustration. "What do you think?" she replied. "I doubt it, which means..." She finished his sentence for him. She was crazy enough to cut herself. Clearly, she's up to something, and she's dragging her husband into it. "Are you going to talk about this with Eric?" he asked. "I don't think I'll need to," she said. "If his mother is crazy enough to say that I cut her, she'll make sure Eric knows about it some way or another." As Brian took Marjorie to the hospital, he made a fuss about the matter to anyone who would listen. Before long, all the press in New York seemed to know about the incident Marjorie had invented. Pretty soon, the entertainment news was putting out exaggerated headlines. Brian Roberts files charges after Emma Miller assaults his wife. Emma attacks Eric's mother. Has pregnancy made her crazy? After fight with daughter-in-law, Marjorie Roberts is in critical condition. It didn't matter whether Emma had planned to involve Eric. There was no way he could miss the headlines. He rushed home to check on her, worried that she had been injured in the reported conflict. "I'm fine," she insisted. She rubbed her face at his anxious expression. "Eric." He wrapped his arms around her, resting his chin on top of her head. "You don't need to say anything. I've seen the headlines," he said. "Just ignore it," she said. "We know it's a lie." But they both knew they couldn't just ignore it. Although Eric's parents had been absent for the majority of his rule over the entertainment industry, they now were demanding attention from anyone who would listen. If he didn't get them in line, it could destroy his career. The one thing on their side was that Marjorie already had a reputation for bad-mouthing her daughter-in-law, which made her claims against Emma questionable. But the injury on her arm was hard to ignore. It didn't take long for Eric to come up with a plan. But before he could put it into action, someone stepped out to defend Emma online. "Marjorie is a liar. I saw her cut herself. I can't believe anyone would believe her after she tried backstabbing Emma," they posted. The thread turned into a flurry of responses. "Show the evidence," people demanded. "It's not like Marjorie has evidence supporting her claim," someone pointed out. "There's no way Marjorie's crazy enough to cut herself, right?" someone asked. "It wouldn't be the first time she's done disgusting things for her own gain," the original poster replied. Marjorie paled as Brian read the posts out loud to her, knowing exactly what the person meant. He scoffed. How could people make up something like that? Why would anyone believe them? He asked. She took the phone from him to read the discussion herself, looking for a clue to the identity behind the posts. While she hated what people were saying about her, she was confident no one had seen her. People continued to pester the anonymous poster, curious to find out what other big secrets Marjorie was hiding. It wasn't until several hours later that the original person posted again. All the post said was, "I'm taking back what belongs to me." Marjorie tossed her phone aside as fear gripped her heart. "What's wrong?" Brian asked. "Don't let them bother you." She ignored him and curled up on the bed. As she thought about the post, she started to worry. That person can't still be alive, she thought. Can they? Although her focus had shifted to the mystery person, Emma still had her sights on Marjorie and wasn't planning on letting her go. Episode 623. Just wait and see. Emma's name had been cleared without any involvement from Kaleidoscope. Luis suspected her fans had intervened, but he continued to investigate the situation. Brian was incensed that the entire incident had been brushed off after a few words from a stranger online. He suspected that it was somehow Eric's doing. Eric, on the other hand, knew Kaleidoscope had nothing to do with resolving the issue. Eventually, Luis found the account of the original poster. He didn't believe the post could have come out of nowhere, and he knew that no other agency would have tried to clear Emma's name. So, where is this coming from? He wondered. Check this out, Luis said, passing his phone to Eric. Eric glanced at the screen, but then looked away. I've already seen it. What are you thinking? He asked. I think the poster must be someone who had a bone to pick with your mother from the past. I think she might have targeted your mother, regardless of the situation. Defending Emma was just a convenient cover, Luis answered. What do you think they meant about taking back what belongs to them? Eric asked. I don't know, but it sounds like this isn't over yet, Luis said. I already hired someone to investigate the account, Eric said. Luis smiled. So, you thought it was suspicious too? He paused as a thought crossed his mind. What if what we find out is really bad? He asked. Eric shrugged. Then my mother will have to pay for her mistake, he answered. I hope it all turns out to be nothing, Luis said. I would hate to see the circus that would develop otherwise, Luis said. But I also don't want Eric to have to take action against his own mother, he thought. Emma had questions of her own after she saw the post. If Marjorie hadn't already proven herself to be conniving, Emma would have given her the benefit of the doubt. But after everything she had discovered about her mother-in-law, she suspected there was more to the post. Not knowing that Eric had already done so, she hired someone to investigate the author of the post. On Bridget's first night in her new apartment, she found that she couldn't fall asleep. She called her mother, who offered to bring over her blankets and pillow from home. On her way to the new apartment building, she ran into Richard. Why is Emma in the news again? Eliza asked. I overheard my neighbors talking about her. He waved off her concerns. Don't worry. It's already been resolved thanks to some kind person, he said. I guess they haven't figured out it was me, she thought. But the situation is a bit strange, he added. I think Eric is planning to look into it some more. Do you know if he's found anything out yet? She asked. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. He doesn't know who put up the original post, but at least his parents have gone quiet for now," Richard responded. The concerned look she gave made him wonder what she was thinking about. "I don't think this is over," he said. "Who knows what they'll try to do to Emma next?" "I hope they leave her alone," she said with a frown. "She seems like a nice young woman. From what I can tell, she's very mature and kind." He nodded. "You're right. She never treats people maliciously. It's unfortunate how many times her name has been dragged through the mud." He took the bag that Eliza had brought with her. "I can get this to her," he said. "It's very kind of you to bring it." She nodded. "Just keep an eye on her for me, okay?" He watched as she left, appreciating the kind words she always had for Eric and Emma. It never entered his mind that she was the person who had defended Emma online. After Eliza left, she couldn't get Marjorie out of her mind. "I'm not going to let Marjorie get away," she thought. "I'm going to get my pound of flesh for all the suffering Marjorie caused me over the years." Marjorie was also trying to find out the mystery account's identity. She suspected that Eric hadn't found the identity of the person yet, which increased her fear. If Eric, with so many resources at his disposal, can't find this person, how could I? She wondered. In her preoccupation with this mystery person, she realized that her own lack of response was significant. Once Eric saw his mother wasn't protesting the mysterious post, he realized that she really did have something to hide. The mystery person stayed hidden, and after a couple days, the trending topics online moved on. The lack of follow-up made Marjorie relax enough to dive back into her research work. Meanwhile, Emma studied her script for the realm, wondering when the mystery poster would strike again. She had an inkling the situation wasn't over yet. Eventually, she brought it up with Eric again. "Have you found anything out yet?" she asked. "I feel like they're waiting for your mother to act up again." He looked at her in surprise. "Are you still thinking about this?" he asked. "I didn't realize it was still on your mind." She leaned back on the couch. "Don't tell me that you're not curious," she said with a smile. She already dropped by once to ask me about your investigation into her. "That's no secret," he replied. She shrugged. "There's no point in trying to set up a trap for her," Emma said. "She's impulsive and has a temper. I bet she'll make another move within the next few days. Just wait and see." Episode 624. Emma and Eric bide their time. Although Marjorie's attack on Emma had failed, the silver lining was that her husband believed her and resented Emma more than ever. He felt betrayed by Eric and Emma. His new daughter-in-law had hurt the person he loved the most, his wife. I don't know how our son could marry someone like that. What makes him think that what she did is okay? He asked. Marjorie encouraged this outrage. You're right, she said. She was dating someone else just until she could use Eric as a stepping stone. I wonder who she's tried to use before him. He shook his head angrily. The morning I went over there, she was home alone with a man, he said. They said they were discussing business, but it's obvious they were up to something. Eric must be blind to her lies. The two echoed each other's hateful statements until they had no doubt that Emma was lying and having an affair. Over the years, Brian had unconsciously developed a hatred for the entertainment industry, just like his wife. Despite disapproving of his son's profession, he hadn't been concerned when he found out Eric had married a model. He'd always thought Eric had a good head on his shoulders, but now he was having serious concerns. After meeting Emma and hearing so much about her from Marjorie, he realized that she might be a serious threat to his family. I put up with him working in this industry for years because of his grandfather, but I can't put up with his wife any longer after what she's done to you, he said to Marjorie. She clutched her nearly healed cut pitifully and said, But we're just average people. We don't stand a chance against Kaleidoscope, especially since you're the only one who believes me. We'll see what I can do about that, he replied. She bit back a smile as she successfully inflamed the misunderstanding between father and son. As long as they didn't clear the air, she would be safe. Feeling satisfied by how she'd been able to pass the problem off to her husband, she was able to peacefully sleep for the first time in days. When she woke up feeling refreshed, she decided to continue her search for the person who had threatened her online. During the next 2 days, rumors popped up throughout the entertainment industry. Someone was spreading the lie that Emma was having an affair while pretending to be taking it easy at home. Whoever started the rumor had been smart. Instead of making a scene or starting with the paparazzi, they let various artists in the industry spread it to one another until no one could find the source. The artists knew better than to bring it to Eric's attention. They wouldn't want to risk their careers by telling him that his wife was cheating. Eventually, the gossip made its way to Lisa, who rushed to call Emma. Have you heard the rumor that you're cheating on Eric? Do you know where it came from? She asked. Because Emma kept a small circle of friends, It was rare she heard about drama that hadn't gone public. She rolled her eyes. "Just ignore it," she said. "First, they say I can't get pregnant. Then, someone starts rumors that there's something wrong with the baby. I guess saying that I'm cheating is just the rumor of the week." "Emma," Lisa began hesitantly. "It's easy for you to ignore these rumors, but they're saying awful things about Eric." Anger burned in Emma's veins. "Do you know who started the rumor?" Emma asked. "It seemed to pop up from nowhere. The only good news is nobody wants to be the person caught telling the media, so it's staying within the industry," Lisa answered. Emma hung up and set down her script to focus on the problem at hand. She just wanted to keep a low profile and avoid making enemies. But it didn't seem like her wish would ever be granted. She hated that these rumors would permanently taint her friendship with Richard. She called Eric next. "Have you heard the rumors?" she asked. "Don't take them to heart," he replied. He genuinely seemed unbothered, which both relieved and worried her. "Would you believe me if I said I wasn't?" she asked with a smile. "But I'm sure that the person's next step will be to say that this proves that you're not the father. How should we handle that? I don't want anyone to try and make a joke out of you." He smiled at her urge to protect him. "But people will want to believe there's some truth to the rumor, regardless of what we do," he said. She sighed in frustration. "This is starting to be annoying," she said. "Are you sure we shouldn't take action now that we know who's responsible?" The couple was certain of the culprit's identity, but Eric didn't want to do anything right now. He knew that sooner or later, the truth would come out. In the meantime, he had no desire to get into a fight with his parents. Episode 625. Eric confronts his father. Eventually, Richard heard the rumors. Although no one named him specifically, it was pretty clear that the whispering had started after he had visited Emma with the script for the realm. The comments were now becoming more specific, and the man with whom Emma was supposedly having an affair was now being referred to as a certain director. As an industry newcomer, he was embarrassed by the rumors and worried about his friend. He called Eric and asked, "You don't have any worries about my relationship with Emma, do you?" "Of course not," Eric said with a laugh. "Only an idiot would think that she would leave me for you." "Well, that's comforting, I suppose," Richard said. But after hanging up, he was still anxious, worrying that his next interaction with Emma would be awkward. On her way back from the gym, Bridget ran into Richard and noticed how unhappy he looked. "Are you okay?" she asked. Normally, Richard would have tried to keep his worries to himself, but he was so upset by the situation that he decided to confide in her. Her response wasn't very sympathetic, though. "You should know what this industry's like by now," she said. "I don't know why you're so surprised. You shouldn't have gone over to her apartment anyway. It's all your own fault." "I didn't confide in you so you could blame me," he snapped. What kind of advice did I expect from her? He thought. She certainly doesn't have her act together. She raised her hands in surrender. "Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. But why are you so bothered by it?" she asked. "It affects the reputation of a good friend of mine," he explained. She nodded. "I understand. Whoever started this rumor is an awful person for trying to get Eric to divorce Emma." He continued to glare at her. She rolled her eyes. "Don't be mad at me. You were the one who got caught hanging out with a high-profile actress." He hated that she was right. Scandals like this broke out about less visible celebrities all the time. He should have known better. "Do you know how to be nice?" he asked in irritation. "I won't baby you for your own mistake. If the rumors aren't true, then stop throwing a fit. Whoever started the rumor probably loves seeing you two panicking. The more upset you get, the more it confirms the rumors to everyone else," she said, crossing her arms. Despite his complaint only a moment before, her reasoning was solid. He had been reacting out of fear instead of thinking things through. "Don't worry," she said. "If I figure out who spread the rumor first, I'll beat them up for you," she joked. Part of him didn't doubt that she would, making him shake his head. "You have an audition tomorrow. Go get ready," he said. As he turned to leave, he noticed a bruise on her arm. "Wait," he said, grabbing her arm. "Where did this come from?" he asked. "From training," she answered, shrugging like it wasn't a big deal. "This doesn't look new," he said. He glanced at her motorbike, which looked more scratched than usual. When he approached to inspect it, a piece broke off as soon as he touched it. He narrowed his eyes. "Did you go racing?" he asked. "All stunt doubles do it," she replied. "Okay, then break your own legs. Don't break the bike in the process," he said. "Go sign somebody else then," she said stubbornly. He sighed, shaking his head as he walked off. As soon as Richard left, Bridget's mother called her. She had been calling more often lately. The conversations revolved around Eliza's concern over how well Bridget was settling in and what was going on in the entertainment industry. This time, Bridget casually mentioned her conversation with Richard. Eliza frowned. "Can't that woman stop for a minute?" she blurted out. "Which woman?" Bridget asked, wondering who her mother was talking about. "Do you mean Emma?" "Of course not," Eliza responded. "I'll talk to you later. Make sure you're on time for your audition." Bridget rolled her eyes. "Sure." After Bridget hung up, Eliza thought about the rumors, but she couldn't see how those lies would benefit Marjorie. "Looks like it's time to log back into the account," she thought. She had to figure out a way to prove Emma and Richard's innocence without recklessly revealing the rumor to the public. The only way is by getting closer to Marjorie, she decided. Emma's prediction that someone would claim Eric wasn't the father of her child came true sooner than they had expected. However, Eric didn't find out from other people in the industry. Instead, his father called him directly. "I heard a rumor that you're not the father of Emma's child. Is it true?" Brian asked. "Where did that come from?" Eric asked. "Don't worry about where it came from. You just need to tell me if it's true or not," his father said quickly. Eric paused for a moment, deciding whether it was the right moment for the inevitable confrontation with his father. Finally, he asked, "Did the rumor come from you?" Episode 626, Escape Artist. "What the hell are you talking about?" Brian asked. "We both know what's really going on here. Why bother pretending you're not involved?" Eric replied. "If this is how you're going to treat your own son, then I think it's best if we go our separate ways. You really don't want to make an enemy of me." For a moment, Brian was dumbstruck. He had never expected Eric to prioritize Emma over him. "Are you being serious?" he asked. "Deadly serious," Eric replied. "You're about to learn what happens to people who go out of their way to hurt me and my wife." Before Brian had a chance to let his son's words sink in, Eric had already hung up. Brian had intended to use this incident to drive a wedge between Eric and Emma, but it seemed to have the opposite effect. He had been so sure his son would never know he was behind everything, but his certainty seemed ridiculous now. Brian decided not to take Eric's threats to heart. Interestingly, all of the gossip about Emma and the baby had completely disappeared by the following morning. Word quickly spread throughout the industry, and even the most enthusiastic gossipers had gone quiet. Everyone knew that Eric had the power to destroy their careers if he chose to do so. Not many people were willing to take that risk. Most people understood this and acted accordingly. But there were those who wanted to try their luck. They were easy to deal with. Kaleidoscope simply let it be known that they would not work with any agencies who employed them, and the resulting pressure was enough to shut down the gossip. One reality star decided to try her luck in another country as a result, while a social media influencer decided she might be better off pursuing another career. Another woman, an actress, found herself in jail for possession and selling cocaine. In an industry where reputation is everything, Eric decided to take a stand. After letting the rumors simmer for a while, he had had enough. News of Eric's actions soon got back to Brian, and he was furious that his son would go to these extreme lengths to defend Emma. Has he gone mad? Brian thought. I didn't think he would destroy other people's careers over that damn woman. Even if Eric stops the rumors spreading, everyone is still going to be suspicious about that baby, Marjorie said as she placed a comforting hand on Brian's arm. I think we need to refocus our energy on Emma. She's the enemy here, not our son. There's no need to hurt him. It's too late for that. He was hurt the moment the rumors about Emma and the baby surfaced, Brian thought. Marjorie's confidence that they could deal with Emma came from her belief that her daughter-in-law could not disprove the lies she had spread about the child. However, she had completely underestimated her daughter-in-law's ability to deal with these kinds of problems. No matter how difficult a situation was, she would always work to find a solution. After Eric suppressed the gossip, it was Emma's turn to step up to the plate. Emma asked Luis to post bail for the actress who had been arrested for possession of cocaine. On the surface, it seemed like an act of forgiveness. But Emma wanted the woman to pay her back properly for the harm she had done. Luis brought the young star to the CEO's office at Kaleidoscope. However, she was surprised to see that Emma was the one waiting for her in Eric's chair. Embarrassed that she was coming face to face with the very person she had lied about, the actress hung her head in shame. You're here because I want your help with something, Emma said. I'll only do that if you get the police to drop the charges, the actress responded. Emma put down the script she was holding and glared at the other woman. Let's make things clear, Emma said. I'm not negotiating with you. If you don't want to work with me, you will end up back in jail. Certain that she wasn't bluffing, the actress gulped and stared at her feet. What do you want me to do? She asked. You're going to prove my innocence, Emma responded. The actress snapped her head up to look at the woman in front of her. "How do you expect me to do that?" she asked. "Nobody's going to believe me if I just come out and say that you didn't do anything wrong." "I was thinking of something a little more subtle than that," Emma said. She looked down at the script on the desk. "There's always more than one way to approach these things." The woman eyed Emma suspiciously. This seemed like an impossible situation, so her confidence was surprising. "I have no idea what she wants me to do," the actress thought. "But if Emma gets herself out of this, she should think about becoming an escape artist." Episode 627. Getting the Evidence. It didn't take long before the rumors about the paternity of Emma's baby had completely disappeared. A new rumor, however, started spreading within hours. Someone claimed they had evidence that Emma was having an affair. No one dared to publicly gossip about it because they were worried about how Eric would react. Everyone agreed that the accuser was on thin ice, but nobody knew who it was. Kaleidoscope appeared to be searching for the culprit, while Marjorie was engaging in investigations of her own. She desperately wanted proof that Emma was having an affair, so she was prepared to do anything to get it. "If I find what I'm looking for," she thought, "maybe I can get Eric to see that she's not right for him." Marjorie hired a private investigator in the hopes of getting to the accuser before Eric did. As it turned out, the person now spreading rumors was a friend of the woman who had been arrested for drug possession. Marjorie knew she had to tread carefully. She didn't want anybody to find out that she was scheming behind Emma's back. Eventually, she worked up the courage to give the woman a call. After she explained why she was calling, the woman said, "My friend told me that she thought there was something between Emma and Richard. She had a small role in Weird Husband and saw the way Richard and Emma acted around each other. She didn't think anything of it at the time, but it seemed so obvious that they were having an affair after the rumors came out." "I have a favor to ask you," Marjorie responded. "Can you talk to your friend for me?" "No way," the woman responded. "Kaleidoscope will come after me if they find out I'm involved in all of this. I'm already laying low, so you'll have to speak to her yourself." The woman went silent for a moment. "The only reason I said anything was because I was drunk. I had no idea it would cause this much trouble." Emma and Richard really did get up to no good, Marjorie thought. Marjorie tried to coax the woman into giving her more details, but she refused. Instead, she started asking questions of her own. Everyone's avoiding talking about Emma right now, but you're still being pushy about the whole thing. Why is that? Do you really hate her that much? She asked. I despise her, Marjorie said. Who are you exactly? The woman asked. Marjorie wasn't stupid enough to reveal her identity to this stranger, so she hung up. She then contacted the woman's friend, but the former star wasn't willing to say very much. I've only just been bailed out of jail, she said. I don't have any evidence. Even if I did, there's no way I would get on the wrong side of Eric and Emma again. Marjorie remembered the photograph that she had managed to get the woman's friend to email her. In it, Emma and a man had their arms around each other. Even though part of his face had been pixelated, it was clear that the man was Richard. I need to find out who took that photo, Marjorie thought. You were the one who took the shot of them together, weren't you? She asked. I already told you that I don't want to get involved, the woman on the other end of the line said. Please, stop bothering me. If you give me the original photo, you can name your price, Marjorie replied, refusing to give up. The actress sighed before she responded. I don't care how much you're willing to pay me. I'm not putting myself in any more danger for this. Sensing the woman was unlikely to be swayed by a stranger on the phone, Marjorie changed tactics. We should meet in person, she said. Meet? The actress laughed incredulously. Why do you want the photo so badly? Kaleidoscope will destroy you if you release it to the public. All I want to know is if you are willing to sell the photo, Marjorie replied. The line fell silent as the actress paused for thought. I'll give it to you for $1 million, she finally said. My career's ruined. I'm going to need to leave the U.S. and set myself up somewhere else. That's a lot of money, Marjorie responded. That's the price I'm willing to accept for risking my life. You can take it or leave it, the actress said. It would be better for us both if I hung up and destroyed the photo. We could pretend this conversation never happened. No, wait, Marjorie said, fearing the line would go dead. Let's set up a time and place to meet. The actress sighed and took a moment to weigh her options. Fine, she eventually replied. I'll think of somewhere and text you the details. After hanging up, Marjorie paced back and forth in her living room as she waited for the message. Her heart finally stopped thundering in her chest when the actress texted her a few minutes later. Remember that you're only doing this to get Emma away from your son, Marjorie thought. He cannot possibly want to stay married to her if he sees evidence of the affair, can he? The meeting was scheduled for 2 days later at a hotel, What Marjorie didn't know was that Emma had also received a message around the same time. "She's taken the bait," it read. "Everything is running smoothly." Emma handed her phone over to Eric. They had suspected Marjorie was the one who was responsible for the call, but they needed hard evidence. "Can we prove that your mom did this?" she asked. In response, Eric showed her both video footage and a series of photos of Marjorie buying multiple burner phones and SIM cards. He had even verified that one of the phones had been used to make the call to the actress. "Why didn't she go through a private investigator?" Emma said. "She didn't want to put that kind of information in someone else's hands," Eric suggested. "My mother never relies on other people if she doesn't have to." Emma shook her head. There was one thing that was still puzzling her. "I get why Marjorie is doing this to me. But why would Brian involve himself in something like this?" she asked. "Doesn't he realize that he's hurting you, too?" Episode 628. A Mystery Guest. "My father doesn't always think before he acts," Eric said. "And he really loves my mother. I think he would do anything for her, which I admire." "I'm the one they want to get rid of, though. Your parents will do anything to tear me away from you." Emma looked down at her baby bump and gently patted it. "I guess I'm not the only one who puts themselves on the line to protect people they care about." The couple sat in silence for a while and thought about their current situation. "At least we know Jenna did such awful things out of self-interest," Emma finally said. "The things your parents are doing are hurting everyone, including themselves. No matter how much they hate me, I just don't understand how they could risk this. Don't they want a relationship with their grandchild?" "I'm so sorry," Eric said, hugging his wife. "You've already been through enough." "You have no reason to be sorry." Emma turned to look at Eric and felt her heart break when she saw the inner turmoil etched on his face. Nobody expects a perfect relationship with their in-laws. I just never expected your parents to hate me so much that they would go out of their way to hurt you, too. I can't understand what's making them behave like this." "I'm still investigating a few things," he said. "I bet we'll figure it out pretty soon." Eric had been so shocked by his parents' behavior that he had to be sure he hadn't made a mistake about their involvement. "How certain are you that they're behind all this?" Emma asked. "About 90%, Eric replied with a sigh. "I already know for sure that my mom isn't the woman I always believed she was, he thought. There's a really simple way of finding out, Emma said. Nothing is simple about this, Eric responded. And I need to make sure I'm right. Keep me posted, Emma said. I don't want to take action without you, but I also don't want this to go on too soon. She really needs to be stopped. I know, but I'm asking for a little more time, Eric said, beginning to feel frustrated. It's hard to believe that my parents are capable of trying to hurt me. Emma really is a wonderful person, he thought. She's protecting her child, which is more than can be said for my own damn mother. Meanwhile, Marjorie was still fantasizing about Eric leaving Emma. A split between them would mean she would no longer have to deal with someone as headstrong as his current wife. However, her plans would have to come together quickly, or she risked being found out. All she needed now was the evidence. Brian had also been a pawn in her game from the start. He had been easy to manipulate and had quickly backed her up. She loved Eric, but knowing that she had hidden so much from him, she'd always been afraid that he would eventually reject her. Her fear of rejection had led to a wall in her heart that she couldn't break down. Eric's a handsome young man, she thought. He'll get over Emma Miller soon enough. Outside Marjorie and Brian's apartment building, a woman had been pacing up and down the street for a few hours. Eventually, the security guards approached her and asked why she was there. I'm here to see Marjorie Roberts. There's something I need to ask her, the woman responded. She's not here right now, the guard said. You should probably go home and come back another time. Just as she was about to leave, she saw a car with Marjorie and Brian inside. They appeared to be deep in conversation. 1,000 emotions coursed through her, but anger was the primary one. When she had been married to Brian Roberts, she had known him as a kind person who treated other people well. But now, she thought, he doesn't even realize that Marjorie has become a bully. How can he let her treat Eric that way? As the car drove past, one of the security guards tapped on the car window and told Marjorie that there was someone there to see her. She briefly looked the woman up and down and shook her head. I don't know her. If she's a reporter, get rid of her, Marjorie said. You heard the lady, the guard said after turning back to the woman. She doesn't know you. I think I got the wrong building, she lied. I was here to see Emma Roberts. The security guard sighed. The easiest thing would be to walk away, but the woman seemed to be in some distress. She certainly didn't seem like a typical reporter who was chasing a celebrity scoop. My friend is a guard at Emma's building, a couple blocks away, I'll call him, and you can see if she's willing to see you," he said. When the security guard knocked on her apartment door with a woman in tow, Emma's first instinct had been to send her away. However, a second glance at the woman's face jogged her memory. She had seen her at Caitlin's birthday party. Wasn't she the mother of one of Richard's clients? Emma thought. Actually, I do know her, she said, stepping aside and then looking directly at the woman. You can come in. As the security guard left and the woman stepped over the threshold, Emma wondered why she had come looking for her. Let's go out onto the terrace, Emma said. Episode 629, The Offer. Thank you for seeing me, Eliza responded, following Emma outside. Eric had already left for work, so Emma was home alone. If this woman had bad intentions, it would be much easier to attract help if they were already outside. Judging by the woman's demeanor, though, that was not going to be an issue. If anything, Eliza looked like she needed help. And Emma wasn't about to turn one of Richard's acquaintances away. Once outside, they both sat down and regarded each other with interest. In such close proximity, Emma saw that the woman had once had some kind of accident. I'm sorry if I'm being intrusive, but are those scars from burns? She asked. The woman self-consciously pulled her collar up to hide more of her face. Yes, but it happened a long time ago, the woman replied. Emma chose not to pry any further. She said, Richard manages your daughter, doesn't he? I don't understand why you're here to see me. Yes, he does. Bridget is a stunt double, so she's always training and is rarely home. The old woman looked at Emma nervously. The thing is, I heard about the scandal between you and Mr. Collins, and I'm concerned. Are you worried it will affect your daughter's future? Emma asked. Don't worry. It won't come to that. I know you and Richard aren't having an affair, and I have a way of proving it, the woman responded. Emma smiled and waved her hand dismissively. Honestly, there's no need for you to drag yourself into this mess. I promise you, it won't affect your daughter's career going forward, she said. I know you and Richard are good friends, which is why I came to you, Eliza responded. I don't have an agenda here. I just want to help. There's really no need, Emma replied. This will all blow over soon. Eliza nodded and then looked at Emma as if something else was on her mind. There is another way I can help you, she said, pausing to steady her nerves. You're pregnant, and the people around you are all very busy. I could come and cook and do chores for you. I also know how to look after children if you still need help after the baby is born. I'm really not used to being taken care of, Emma replied, both surprised and a little alarmed by the stranger's offer. I would really like to help you out, the other woman responded. But if the way I look is an issue... No, not at all, Emma cut in. The last thing she wanted to do was offend her guest, when the woman had made such an effort to try to help her. I just don't think we need the help right now. In any case, I'll make sure that Richard takes good care of your daughter. There won't be any fallout for her, no matter what happens. When she heard Emma's answer, it was clear that the woman was disappointed by the rejection. Okay, that's fine, she said with a sigh, before leaving Emma with her phone number. If you change your mind, you can give me a call at any time. Thank you, Emma replied, genuinely touched by her guest's kindness. As she walked away, the woman stopped and turned back. You're as nice as I thought you would be, she said with a smile, before turning back and heading for the apartment door. Have I done the right thing? Emma thought. I wish I knew more about this person. Emma knew it would be stupid to let a complete stranger into their lives. But even hours later, she still felt bad about rejecting the woman's offer. I don't know why, but I feel awful for turning her down, Emma told Eric. Her husband shrugged. I don't think you could have done anything else, he said. What do you think was her motive for offering to work for you? I guess she just wanted to guarantee a good future for her daughter, Emma replied. If she has a clean record and is good at her job, maybe it would be fine, Eric said. It might be nice to have some additional help. Just let me do a background check on her first. Emma nodded and gave him a warm smile. Emma mentioned her strange guest to Richard. As his curiosity was piqued, he decided to ask his client a few questions. Bridget was getting ready for her interview, so she was currently dressed in a black vest and pants. Her movements were flowing smoothly as she practiced one of her stunts, showing that she was more than capable of nailing the role. But Richard was still worried. She needs to get over her fear of being on camera, he thought. Bridget continued practicing, but then she suddenly disappeared. Confused, Richard began running around, looking for her. She eventually reappeared, hanging from a bar above her manager's head. Why are you looking for me? She asked. Can't you just enter a room normally? Richard replied. Bridget jumped down and sat down next to him. What's up? She asked. Did you know your mother went looking for Emma? She's offered to do housework for her, Richard said. Why would she do that? Bridget asked. I'm the one who does all the laundry and most of the cleaning at home. Why would she go and clean for someone else?" Richard frowned at her. "Is your family in debt?" he asked, drawing a snort from Bridget. "Well, we owe you $30,000 for that broken screen at the hotel. Does that count?" she responded. "Can your mom be trusted?" Richard asked. "Emma does really need the help." His gut instinct had been to take Eliza at face value. She didn't seem the type to introduce herself to Emma for sinister reasons. But he had to be sure. Bridget shrugged. "I actually think it's kind of suspicious," she said. "She doesn't want to do the cooking and cleaning at her own home. Why would she be interested in doing it for somebody else? And isn't it a little weird that she tracked down Emma just to ask her for a job? She won't stay at home and do our chores, yet she's offering to do someone else's." "I think her motive is pretty clear," Richard responded. "She's doing it for you. She just wants to guarantee your future." "She should have done that a long time ago," Bridget said with a sigh. "What I don't get is why she specifically asked Emma if she could work for her. There are plenty of other rich people in New York City." "Your mom's smart. Emma will be a good boss, and it's always handy to have access to people like her when you're in the entertainment industry," he replied. Bridget simply shrugged, which drove Richard mad. Why does she get under my skin so much? He thought. Episode 630. Facing Fear. "Come on," Richard said. "We need to head to your audition soon." "You haven't even told me what it's for yet," Bridget responded, following behind him. "You will know soon enough," he said with a smile. Even though he was really irritating, Bridget couldn't deny that her manager was a good-looking guy. "It's just a shame he's so boring," she thought. Richard and Bridget soon arrived at the venue for the auditions, which were being held at the large training ground of a local soccer team. The large amount of space would give the production crew the perfect chance to find the best action star for the role. Bridget glanced at one of the signs, and her eyes nearly bugged out of her head. Richard had brought her to audition for a role in a sci-fi film called The Savage Wars. "There's no way I'm acting on camera," she thought, unbuckling her seatbelt and getting ready to leap out of the car. In response, Richard locked the doors. "Why are you trying to run away?" he asked. "I know this film is looking for actors, not doubles." Bridget looked at him like she had been betrayed. "You made me a promise." If Emma had been given this opportunity when she was just starting out, she would have faced her fears of going on camera. You can't just run away from things that scare you in this industry, Richard replied. "Well, I'm not Emma, and I sure as hell don't like being lectured on what I can and can't do." Bridget spat back. I'll do what I damn well like. Actually, no, you won't. Richard grabbed her contract from the back seat and gave it to her. Take a look at the 6th clause. Bridget flipped to the relevant page and saw it clearly stated that she could not reject any reasonable arrangements that had been made by her manager. You tricked me? She asked. You're welcome to get out of the car, but you will owe me an acceptable level of compensation for all the time and effort I put into securing this audition for you. Richard warned. My time doesn't come cheap either. Realizing that he was being serious, Bridget gulped. Perhaps he's not that boring after all, she thought. If this goes horribly wrong, don't blame me, she finally said. I think this is progress, Richard thought, as he got out of the car and led her to the field. I expected her to tear the contract up and throw it in my face. Once they were there, it was clear that plenty of highly skilled actors had turned out for the part. Bridget was managing to keep her cool about the situation, and was even giving the other hopefuls a characteristic scowl while they auditioned. There are still a dozen people before you, Richard said. I should go to the bathroom first, she replied. Richard may have convinced himself that his client was no longer going to run away, but that had been the real motive behind her comfort break. However, when she stepped into one of the cubicles, she overheard some of the other women gossiping. Did you see Richard Collins? One voice asked. You mean the director who had an affair with Emma Miller? Another woman said. Shh, the first voice replied in a whisper. Kaleidoscope is likely to stir up trouble for anyone who gossips about Emma right now. Richard seems to be the only one who's acting like nothing happened. Did you see the girl he brought to the audition? She can't be older than 20 and is kind of cute, but I doubt they're going to look twice at her. She's way too small to be up to the task. No need to state the obvious, the other woman replied. She probably knows she doesn't stand a chance as well. Furious, Bridget swung open her cubicle door and stormed over to the two actors who were standing in front of the mirrors. After washing her hands, she turned and looked at them. It's bad enough that they're insulting me, but there was no need for them to gossip about Richard, too, she thought. I'll make sure I look out for your acting masterclass during your auditions, Bridget commented as she enjoyed the way their faces had turned red. I suggest you keep your opinions to yourself in the future. The two women immediately apologized, but Bridget simply glared at them and left without saying another word. Those who auditioned first weren't very good, and some of them had tapped out of the grueling process within a couple of minutes. According to the list, Bridget was up next, but she was nowhere to be seen. Richard looked at his watch. Does she really need 20 minutes to go to the bathroom? Or has she backed out and run away? He wondered. The casting director stepped forward and called out Bridget's name. Richard held his breath as he was mentally preparing to leave when she walked past him and volunteered to go first out of the next batch of actresses. "I thought you'd run away," he said, finally able to exhale. "I don't go down without a fight," Bridget responded. She had actually returned to the field a few minutes before Richard had noticed her in order to check out the competition. She realized that the 2 women she had confronted in the bathroom were in her group. Richard was still nervous that she might leave, so he sat down on one of the chairs and carefully watched her. As it turned out, there was no need for him to worry. Bridget was supposed to wait for instructions, but she approached the casting director and told him that she wanted to improvise the scene. She suggested acting as a villain who was fighting against a couple of opponents. The director loved the idea and agreed. "This is going to be so much fun," she thought, eyeing the 2 women who had been gossiping about her. As a stunt double, she always enjoyed working on potentially dangerous scenes. After the director called for action, she forgot that there were cameras all around her and went for the other actors as if she was in a real fight. Sensing how committed she was, they didn't pull their punches either, which led to them producing the most convincing scene of the day. Although Bridget was battling against 2 other people, her movements were smooth and fast, meaning she was more than a match for them. "Perfect!" the director called out. As all 3 of them fought to get their breath back, the 2 other women glared at Bridget and nursed their injuries. "You did that on purpose," one of them said. Bridget rolled her eyes and walked back over to Richard. "Do you have some sort of grudge against those 2? He asked. "None of your business," Bridget stated, still furious with him. Richard sighed. He knew better than to press her when she was in this kind of mood. "Fine. Let's just see if they call you back now," he said. Even though he was unlikely to tell her right now, he was delighted that she had faced her fear of being in front of the camera.